winners of the NFC Central, playing one of their arch rivals, the Green Bay Packers. These two teams have played 127 times in the regular season, but this is the first time ever in the playoffs. Mel Gray is one of the keys to this game. He burned the Packers repeatedly last Sunday as Detroit won the home field advantage. So it will be up to Chris Jackie to see if he can keep it out of his hands or take it deep. This time he'll take it down to the end zone. Derek Moore off the injured list has it. Moore down at the 20-yard line. And now Dick Vermeil. Here comes Barry Sanders. What does he mean returning to the Lions lineup?
Well, he's the kind of guy that can take the inside run that's plugged up, Brent, bounce it outside, move the chains with him 10 yards of the crack.
Kramer, who took over a month ago and guided the Lions to a division title, will bring the offense up for the first play of the game. And will they start right away with Barry? Ty Halleck in motion. Play fake, Sanders out as a receiver. Deep they go to Perriman. First down, Detroit.
Starting out real aggressive. Good play action fake.
Kramer, since he took over, has been very efficient, avoiding the interception. Barry Sanders returns. They'll use 4 wides. Green, Brett Perriman, who just caught the pass, Herman Moore, and Aubrey Matthews. The offensive line features a lot of free agents. Lomas Brown, he's been a standout. Richards, Glover, Freilich, Lutz, and Rodney Holman, the other tight end, along with Halleck. 1st and 10. Sanders on that quick cut into the middle for nearly 4 yards, and Reggie White, number 92. Speaking of Reggie, he leads the defense, and it has been reworked. We expect to see Don Davey down as a defensive end because the Packers may have to go to this 4-3 alignment because of injuries to the linebackers. It means that Johnny Holland could be operating as a middle linebacker along with the rookie Simmons and Tony Bennett at the other outside. The DBs outstanding, Buckley and Mitchell. Leroy Butler becoming a star back there at strong safety. Sanders gets 5, make it 2nd and 5. And again Sanders, but no daylight this time as John Jerkovich brings him down.
John Jerkovich played an outstanding game last week. He is a tough, intense competitor. Every time you talk to somebody about Jerkovich, number 64, middle of your screen, is that he's a non-quit guy. He can read blocks, he can get off them, and he plays hard on every single snap.
Needing 5 yards. Perriman comes over to the right side of the formation. Kramer, incomplete. Sanders, the intended receiver.
Not a good decision to lay it off over there. The coverage was tight. If he turns his head, he can pick it off. But as you said, Brett, Eric has avoided the mistakes coming into this ball game. He's been very efficient, only throwing 3 interceptions. And boy, when you only turn it over 3 times with your quarterback, that's a plus.
We got a shot of Robert Brooks. He returns as the main return man for the Packers today, and Jim Arnold punting to him. Wonderful duels set up here today in both the punting and the kickoff. Teams on both these units. It's a high punt. Brooks at about the 11. Brooks free to the 31-yard line. A nice return. Melvin Jenkins, the cornerback, brings him down. A 49-yard punt, but a 20-yard return. We'll be right back. That's number 59, linebacker Tracy Scroggins. He was shaken up on that special team, and he'll sit down on the Lions bench.
He is a designated pass rusher and a very good one. Had 8.5 sacks, and he has an awfully good burst coming off the ball. Don't miss him if he can't play.
So the Green Bay Packers are making their first playoff appearance since 1982, and this is their first offensive play of the afternoon. Bennett and Thompson are Favre's running backs. Offset, they run in that direction with Thompson, and the Lions eat him up at the line of scrimmage. Brett Favre, especially Packer fans, know the story about this young man. Extremely aggressive, but too many turnovers. 24 interceptions, 4 last Sunday. Thompson and Bennett are the running back. Sterling Sharp, one of the great wide receivers in the National Football League, led the league in receptions. Mark Clayton and Ed West, and here's the line. The veteran is Ken Rutgers, 75. Darrell Thompson set deep in that eye. Look that he favors running out of. And they go to him. A couple of yards and no more, with Robert Porcher bringing him down. Here is the defensive alignment for the Lions. Mark Spindler, because of an injury, moved to the nose, did a very good job. At linebacker, we're going to bring you one of the intense competitors, number 54. Probably should have made the Pro Bowl team, but you can't take everybody, but he's a great one. Chris Spielman. Jenkins moves in. What a great pickup that is for the injured Ray Crockett, number 24. Now it's 3rd and 9 for Favre and the Packers. And a draw play that did not fool the Lions. Pritchett.
They tried the wrap-around draw. An old Cincinnati Bengal, Paul Brown, Cleveland Brown design play. More recently, Bill Walsh, of course, Mike Holmgren using it in his offense.
So now Mel Gray awaits Wagner's punt.
Wagner coming off his best year. That's his best, 42-9. That's banging it out there pretty good. Nice.
Very
punt. Boy, what a
beautiful punt. Takes Gray back to the 15. Seam in the middle. And one of the great return men brings it back to the 37. A 51-yard punt, which was a beauty, but Mel Gray broke back a 22-yard return. Green Bay's decimated linebacking core. George Coons, who started 15 times. Noble, Coleman, Willis, D'Onofrio are out. What are they doing here today, Dick?
Well, Bryce Paup is able to play. They're able to go right back now and play their basic offset defenses as long as they can keep him healthy.
Eric Kramer's second series. Sanders looking for daylight on the left. Run out of bounds on the far side. Wayne Simmons, the rookie, was the linebacker taking him out.
Well, Dave Levy, the offensive coordinator, and Jerry Wampler, the offensive line coach, said they were coming to run today. They wanted to get after him, run vertically upfield. Since they've eliminated a lot of the counter trap type plays, they feel the offensive line is better than coming off straight ahead and base zone blocking. And this man right here, Dave Levy, says we're coming off vertically.
Replaced Dan Henning, who was ousted here as the offensive coordinator a month ago. Second down with Ty Halleck, the motion tight end. Now the blitz, and Holland hit him first. Tony Bennett cleans up, and down goes Kramer for a 7-yard loss. And ABC's wild card playoff is being brought to you by the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was and more. Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. American Airlines, something special in the air. And Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop.
You can't.
I need some, right?
Ray Rhodes came with a good linebacker blitz. That's the first sack in 2 football games against the Lions. They hadn't been sacked in the 2 previous games. They start out early getting one on them.
Packers and Lions scoreless in the early going. Kramer pulls out. Perriman snaps it out of the air for a Detroit first down in Green Bay territory. An 18-yard gain.
That's what that motion does for you, Brent. They had Herman Moore, flanker back, lined up wide. He came in motion, shortened the formation. They were in a bunch tight slot. Perryman on the outside of the slot went to the corner, confused the defense, found the crease. Perfect pass completed. See what I mean? To the right side of your screen, under pressure, he gets it right out, right where it has to be thrown, outside and away from Roland Mitchell, number 47.
1st and 10. Sanders cuts back. This is what he features. Sanders, 40-35. Barry Sanders out of bounds, a penalty flag comes flying. Might have been a face mask. Leroy Butler picking him up after Berry on that cutback move. He erupts for 25.
This is what he can give you. Point of attack completely eaten up alive right there. No place to go, and he has the ability to bounce back outside. You must maintain leverage. He'll start to the right of the screen. Defensive, you'll see a defense all moving that way. They over-pursue, Reggie White over-pursue. Wayne Simmons, 59, outside linebacker, should be in a better leverage position on that play, especially with this man playing. And there's Larry Butler, number 36, grabbing the face mask. 5-yard penalty. If he pulls it down, it's 15.
The Lions in the red zone for the first time.
They've been successful down there 95% of the time.
And Derek Moore steps in. He replaces Barry Sanders, healthy for the playoff game. They fake to him on a play fake. Intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Terrell Buckley, the second-year corner from Florida State.
Excellent coverage by Terrell Buckley. He had no help inside. They had a crossing pattern in front of the free safety, tied him up. They were trying to get to that one-on-one post pattern. You'll see Herman going to the move. He's going to give him a little stick right here. Buckley playing outside. He's signaling for help. He knows he's going in there. See no safety help inside there. Good play. Bad decision to throw the football in there. Bad decision.
Athletic skill on the part of Buckley. Contrast in styles. Wayne Fonts on the right delegates authority. Mike Holmgren runs the offensive show. Dick, what's he trying to do here against the Lion defense today?
Well, today he's going to try to take a little heat off Brett Favre. As we said all along, he's had interception trouble. He's going to spread the responsibility for success in the offense over to everybody. Running the ball in his first 15 scripted plays, he has 9 runs, 6 passes. It's normally the other way around. He said his concern in doing that is maybe ending up with too many thirds, 4s, and 5s. But that's how they want to start the ball game. There's Lamar Leachman on the left there, and defensive coordinator Hank Bulla. And Hank is going to be very aggressive in his approach. If he's not playing the pure zones, the double zones worked real good for him last week. And if he's not in that, then he's going to change up and come with some Hank Bulla blitzes.
So we came into this game talking about Favre's interceptions, but it is Eric Kramer who serves up the first one. And now the Packers will come out from their own 20-yard line. They split the 2 running backs, and now they send Thompson in motion. And they run Edgar Bennett. Cut back on the right side. Bennett with a nice run for about 9 yards. Favre is only 24 years old. Came off an outstanding season a year ago, but he's been under pressure this year because of this. 24 interceptions, but look at the percentage. 4.6% of all his passes have been intercepted. Now, those are the 6 players in the NFC playoffs. And you can see that Troy Aikman, on the other hand, throws only an interception 1.5% of the time. That was a 10-yard gain. Good second effort by Bennett, and a 1st and 10. From Big Favre, sets the screen. It's Thompson. Thompson to the 40-yard line. George Jamison, one of the defenders for the Lions, on him.
They're going to do more screens this week. Last week, the screen was very effective for a 39-yard touchdown. Follow the offensive center here, Winters, as he comes out and gets the key block on the linebacker that actually makes this screen go. You have to have mobile offensive linemen. Frankie Winters, number 52, left-hand corner of your screen, gets a knockdown right there, opens up that lane, move the chains.
So consecutive first downs for the Packers. Scoreless in the Silverdome. Against 3 down linemen, it's Bennett sweeping to the right. Being stretched out by the defense and out of bounds, and again it was Jamison, number 58.
Jamison, 58, is a very, very consistent linebacker. When you talk to the coaches about him, Herb Patera, who coaches, he rave about him and say he plays up to his ability every week. Now, he doesn't get the raving notices, and he's not the leading tackler like a Chris Spielman, but he is consistent. He makes very few mistakes. Plus, he plays on all downs. He can stay in the nickel.
The Lions trying to do what everyone in this league believes is very difficult. Beat the same team on consecutive weeks. Now it is Thompson sweeping to the right, and there's a penalty flag. Could be a holding call. Thompson got the corner turned and a first down, but the referee threw the flag, and it's holding against the Packers. This one's coming back.
Normally on a sweep like that, if you get a holding, it's usually on the tight end trying to block either the outside linebacker or a defensive end playing on him rather than a linebacker.
Holding. Number 52 offense with a pull down, 10 yards. Still 6 minutes.
This time they got Frankie Winters, the inside center, probably on a reach block situation, trying to grab because the offensive guard, Galbraith, pulled, and Frankie tried to fill in for him and grab some jersey. Right in the middle of your screen, he'll be reaching right. Grabs the nose guard right there, and he pulls him down. Hey, referee saw that one. A little too obvious, Frankie.
2nd and 15 for Green Bay. Favre rolling to the right under pressure and throws it out of bounds. And if you're a Packer fan, you've got to applaud right now. That's what he did not do last week. Get the ball out of bounds when they flushed him out to either side. Instead, he tried to throw it downfield and force something to happen, and usually it did, but it was bad.
He said he's concentrated all week on just that mental thought of poise under pressure. Don't be too intense. Don't try to beat him on that play. Go ahead, throw it out of bounds, and look for the next down to make the big play.
Now it's 3rd and 15. Hank Bulla with 6 defensive backs. And timeout called by Favre. Favre wants to talk about the look the Lions were about to give him. We'll be right back. The 3rd member of our team with us is Tim Brandt. Tim, nice to have this roof here in the Midwest today.
It's outstanding, Brent. I'm down here in the Detroit locker room area. They brought Tracy Scroggins in here, still in a lot of pain. It's a deep thigh bruise, but they said they brought him in here to calm him down. I don't even think they're going to take x-rays, but it is doubtful right now that he'll be back.
Outside, 22 degrees below zero wind chill factor. Inside, 65 degrees and scoreless. Darrell Thompson, the lone running back, on 3rd and 15 after the timeout. Incomplete.
This guy takes a little while to settle down. He's so intense. When you watch him on the practice field, Brent, like I did on Wednesday, he'll drop back, set up nicely, good poise, and throw the football. He gets into a game, and he loses concentration on technique and sometimes throws off his back foot.
Now back to this duel. Wagner versus Gray with the coverage team coming down. Gray with a fair catch at the 21-yard line. So a reminder that Monday night, after an all-new day one with Forrest Sawyer, Peter Falk stars in a brand new Columbo movie. William Shatner guests in Butterfly and Shades of Grey Monday on ABC. So here we are, scoreless. What a great first game it was in overtime. The Kansas City Chiefs behind Joe Montana move on to the next level. Next week they will meet those battle and bicker and Houston Oilers down in the Dome. Scoreless here now, Green Bay and Detroit. 1st and 10 for Eric Kramer. He threw an interception in the end zone on his last possession. Sanders was his running back, out as a receiver. He goes straight down the field, complete to the 32-yard line, and what should be a first down. And again, it is Brett Perriman. He's been the control receiver. He's got the hot hand.
What they do so many times, very clever, they take the tight end who is in a wing position and take him down and hook him in front of a defender, then run a receiver in behind him. To the right side of your screen, 82 Holman hooks, pulls the linebacker out of there, opens up that zone.
3 completions for 45 yards, but still that one costly interception in the end zone for Kramer. Reggie White getting ready. Sanders again on that slick cutback to the 35. Is there anybody on a carpet who cuts any quicker than Barry Sanders? He is absolutely amazing. Certainly Emmitt Smith, wonderful running back, courageous effort last week against the New York Giants for the Dallas Cowboys star. There have been other great running backs, but when you talk about runners on a carpet who can come off the dime, and if you over pursue, You've got to start that list with number 20, Barry Sanders. 5 for 36 yards. Remember, he's been sidelined the last month with that injured left knee. Now Kramer. Protection holds up, and it's Perriman again. And Dick, he was all alone.
They blew the coverage, Brent. They went double zone. When you go double zone, a man should be coming to the slot. You'll see right here. You'll see here, corner roll up, too deep zone. They don't pick up the man in the hole. That's the most fundamental phase of the zone. You'll see him curling right inside there. They blow it. Somebody blew the coverage, either the linebacker, outside backer, or inside backer. You can play it either way in that defense.
Kramer with 4 completions, all of them to Brett Perriman so far. And Perriman will take a well-deserved break with Aubrey Matthews, 83, filling in. He's the motion man. Sanders looking to cut back to the left, and this time there was nothing going because John Yurkovich, the nose man, was in.
You know, Jerry Wamper told me about blocking for Barry Sanders being different than blocking for Eric Lynch, who's been the young player the last couple weeks that's slashed in there. Yurkovich, middle of your screen. Again, as we said early in the ballgame, good body control, but being held up there by an awfully good center in Kevin Glover. I really think Kevin Glover is one of the big old cliche underrated players, but I studied him closely. Any one offensive lineman I could take off the Detroit group, I'd take him.
2nd down and 9. Herman Moore, the rangy wide receivers in motion. Kramer looking over the middle, and he's got Perriman again for a first down at the 36, and Leroy Butler brings him down. A 14-yard gain. Now there's Leroy Butler, and what a performer he was this year with 6 interceptions.
See, what they do here is they constrict the defense, get a short formation here, only one wide receiver, and that makes it easier for him to get up on the safety and roll inside the zone. Now watch him roll up in there. Now he comes in, he has underneath flare control. He gets in the zone right there, and they pop it to him.
On the move again. Kramer and the Lions. Sanders right behind the quarterback. A short drop, throws high for Moore. Penalty flag comes down. A penalty flag is thrown on Buckley, who was defending against the taller receiver. That had been a bit of a mismatch last week. Round 1 here today went to Buckley, who made a pick down in the end zone, and this time a little too aggressive on him. Tommy White's our referee.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, first down.
Herman Moore, 84, with Kramer, has the option to run the fade or the slant. He ran the slant, got the pass interference call. Quarterback was throwing the fade. Misread.
Buckley was flagged last week when he grabbed a handful of jersey on a wide receiver coming off the line.
And it was Herman Moore.
1st and 10 is the result of the penalty. Lions down inside the Packers 30. Coleman is the tight end, 82. And Sanders, penalty flag, comes down on the 3-yard gain.
Big Reggie White at the bottom of that play. Visited with him a few times this week. Very unsatisfied with his performance last week. He said, watch me today, coach.
No play, false start on the left offensive end, 5 yards, moving prior to the snap. It'll still be first down. Please reset the stadium clock to 1 minute, 58 seconds.
Mike Holmgren, back-to-back winning seasons, 9 and 7, but still disappointed in the fact that the Packers did not win the Central Division title. Because of the tiebreakers, by losing last week, he fell below Minnesota in the tie-breaking ratings. So the Packers come in seeded 6th in the NFC. Kramer gets away from the first man, but then he is brought down by Bryce Popp, and that was Reggie White who got in first. There, number 95, able to bring him down.
You can see he's struggling to get up. He came into the ball game, played hurt at the end of the game last week, and he has a strained calf muscle, and it hurts for him to get into a 3-point stance. He gets the heat there from Reggie White right up in the middle. 92 flushes him. Pop right there, 95 going down. If he goes down and can't play, they're really in trouble with their entire defensive scheme.
And Pop leaves. And they put 4 linemen down. A 3-yard loss on the sack. The draw play. Sanders trying to spin away, and he'll lose a pair as Matt Brock disrupts the play.
Matt Brock was like a stone wall. He stuffed the point of attack and yet maintained enough leverage that he can move and get involved in the play as well. And with Barry Sanders, how he can flush around, boy, defensively, you've got to keep those shoulders square and your feet clean if you're going to make some good plays against him.
Now it's a danger play for the Lions. They need 20 yards. They are back on the 37-yard line. About half of that will get them into good field goal range. They have a wonderful kicker in Jason Hansen. Now Kramer, and that's exactly what he's doing. Trying to get Jason Hansen into range. With the roof here in the Midwest, kicking conditions are good, and it was Holman who got just inside the 30-yard line.
An outstanding kicker, Jason Holman. 34, Hansen, excuse me. Hansen, ought to know that guy. 34 of 43 field goals, did not miss one inside 40 yards this year.
This one just outside that. This one is 47 yards. He has hit 3 50-yarders, including a 53-yarder last week. On its way. Good. As the first quarter comes to an end, Hansen nails a 47-yard field goal, and we'll return with the second quarter after this commercial message and a word from our ABC stations.
Ball live just before the 10 o'clock Channel 12 news.
Detroit dominated the clock in the first quarter for better than 10 minutes, but they lead only 3-0 because of an interception by Terrell Buckley of the Green Bay Packers in the end zone. Corey Harris and Marcus Wilson for the Packers back deep. And Hansen drives one.
That solves a lot of problems, doesn't it? Whew, what a leg. What a leg. You know, when you see a guy kick the ball like that, Brent, when you go look at him, you right away you look down to his legs and you expect to see these big bulging muscles and all, but his legs look more like yours. You know, you'd never expect him to be able to kick the ball like that.
A little bit better timing than I do, Coach, and strength on that follow-through. A wonderful rhythm he brings to the kicking game. Reminds you a little bit of a golf swing when you watch a good kicker. It's all tempo, rhythm, eye formation for Favre and the Packers. Bennett, they usually like to come to his side when he offsets. He leads the way. Thompson on a cutback. He's been watching Barry Sanders, and Thompson makes his way to the 27.
You know, in watching Thompson, I really think this is the best I have seen him play. He's doing more of that cutback running with good balance, running with good base, and able to make those kind of cuts. First downs, look, Lions dominating and everything right now, even though they turn it over. They're dominating in time and possession. It's all their ball game in the first quarter.
2nd and 2. They put Bennett, who's a good receiver, in the slot. They throw quickly to the tight end, Edgar West, and he gets to the 36 for a Packer first down. Packers have been slowed this year offensively because of the injury to Jackie Harris. He's a wonderfully talented tight end who can get free in the hole and get deep and take some pressure off Sterling Sharp. West, a very good blocker, but Dick, he doesn't have the speed that Harris has.
No, he doesn't have the speed. He's caught a lot of balls, Brent, like you say. 194 of them, or 171 of them, but they're the 11-yard average type thing. He doesn't have that big burst.
Sterling Sharp been shut out so far here, and we're in the early moments of the second quarter. Favre tried to set the screen, and the Lions had disrupted it. Now it's a freelance play, and Favre will keep it and take it out of bounds. And again, that time, he did not try to force the pass downfield after the screen was broken up.
I'm not so sure he couldn't throw the screen. It looked good from there. Now, I'm not where he was, but it looked like he had a chance to make the screen go. Defensive end, Porsche was coming in there, but I think he could have lobbed it over his head. Very, very cautious approach today from Brett Favre. Geez, last week they had him by the leg. He threw it, scrambled around through it, and then another time they had him by the pads and he throws it. Both picked off. In talking with Brent Favre, he says he comes into the ball game sometimes with his head swimming. 130 passes in the game plan, 25 runs. He said, boy, that's a lot of stuff, and I love it. I love every minute of it, but every once in a while I find myself at the line of scrimmage thinking about the pattern, and therefore I don't recognize what the defense is doing.
Stepped out of bounds, giving the Packers a first down and a fresh set of downs. Split the backs. Favre on the move again, this time to the right, and he'll throw it in to the plate.
He felt the pressure coming. They ran a strong side blitz up there by the tight end. Actually, I think they brought the outside corner as well. The short corner away from the slot. He felt it, rolled on outside.
The playoffs begin and the concentration levels take on new meaning. It's sudden death now from both sides. Packers win, and they will play the highest seeded team, Dallas. Detroit wins, and they will go west to San Francisco. Now they hand to Thompson. Thompson smacked down at the 47 by Jamison.
Real good defensive line play that time. See, they covered both the center and offensive guard. It's hard to really run the kind of sweep as you concentrate inside. 93 nose tackle Spindler moving inside on a good nose tackle play. Tough to run that play with the center and both guards covered.
3rd and 9 with Sanders watching, and Sterling Sharp still being shut out. Comes over to the right. Ron Lewis is the slot man. Jenkins takes Sharp. They throw underneath. There's a penalty flag down using Thompson. A first down, but there is a penalty flag, and it is offside. It's going against the Lions.
Offsides. Number 56 defense lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Pat Swilling in the neutral zone.
You can obviously see a different approach to the game this week by Green Bay than last week. More runs involved, a little simpler passes, checkdowns, layoffs, screens. More aggressive last week than this week, more conservative this week.
Sharp is in motion. And Favre, Thompson met right at the line of scrimmage, lost about a yard. The middle of the line defense.
I was very impressed with the middle of the line last week in watching Spindler play nose guard. I visited with him on the practice field. I asked him, I said, it actually looked like you were getting a jump on the ball. He said that he developed a rhythm. Right side of your screen, you'll see Spindler 93. He said he developed a rhythm with the center quarterback's exchange and actually started jumping on the rhythm and going into that second half. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it today, but he's moving quickly.
2nd and 11. West goes to the left side of the formation. Favre, offensive line gives it good time, and he throws the bullet to the big man. Sterling Sharp for a Packer first down, and Favre put a little mustard sauce on that baby.
Did he ever put mustard on it? I'll tell you, the mustard was just burning off. But he goes up, he gets a little move there, comes back to the inside. The ball's thrown right on time. He gets it tucked away nicely. Gibson comes in and puts him down.
So here is Sterling Sharp, who has not practiced because of an injured ankle and a turf toe for 8 weeks. And he has started 96 straight games coming into the day. Wonderful wide receiver. 1st and 10 for the Packers. The hand now to Bennett. Sweep right. Bennett to the 20-yard line.
Spielman really follows the play nicely. He comes inside out. Now, he actually doesn't make the play. He didn't get his arms wrapped, but he did this proper as a linebacker should.
So Dennis Gibson with some blood there on his left elbow. And perhaps the hand was cut. The 10th play coming up in this drive. Mark Chmura gives the Packers a second tight end, and Favre backs away with a timeout, and he's unhappy out. That's the second one he has used here in the first half. 10 minutes to go. Lions up by a field goal. The Packers called the timeout, but Dennis Gibson took advantage of it. Coming over to the Lions sideline to receive medical attention, and you can see on his left hand, it is the finger that has been bleeding, and the 7-year veteran from Iowa State had it tended to, and he goes back on the field. Sometimes the artificial turf injuries can be those nagging little cuts, abrasions, and things of that can be aggravated during the course of a game. It is 2nd and 3 now, and this is Bennett smashing right straight ahead.
In the first game against the Lions, Bennett had a good game. He scored 2 touchdowns, carried the ball 15 times, 66 yards. Last week, he took a 39-yard screen pass in for a touchdown. They say that many times he can control the tempo of the running game. When he goes, the offense goes.
Dick Sterling Sharp comes back in on 3rd down. Now they're inside the red zone. What will they attempt to do against him here?
Well, in a 3rd and short situation, I think they'll go ahead and run it, but these guys 3rd and 1 is a long yardage sometimes in their pass offense philosophy.
And they do. 1st down. It's Thompson inside the 15-yard line.
Ken Rutgers and Doug Weidel coming off the ball nicely on the left-hand side line. 2 tight ends, 2 wide outs. It helps you balance up the defense. He's going check with me, meaning he's going to call where he's going to run the ball on the line of scrimmage. Nice hole right there. Rutgers gets on the man. See, stays with him. He starts to lose him, but he maintains contact, gets the 1st down.
Inside the 15, it's been tough to score in the NFL this year. Favre with the 1st down for the Packers. Bennett offsets to the left. Thompson for a yard and a half, and Kelvin Pritchett there.
Detroit's defense has had a defense people in the red zone 41 times. Gave up 21 touchdowns. So about half the time they allowed him to score a touchdown, 13 field goals, 83%. That's pretty good. Believe it or not, that's a pretty good percentage. We'd like the touchdown percentage to be a little bit less and the field goal percentage to be a little higher.
2nd and 8, and Sharp is off to Favre's right. They send motion out on that side, hoping to influence the secondary. Favre looks that way, comes back, touchdown, Sterling Sharp.
There is when there's an obvious advantage, Brent, of a quarterback
Number 38 defense. Penalty is decline. Touchdown.
Having a very, very, very strong arm. He will be able to, with this strong arm, stick it into between people where sometime a guy with a lesser arm can't get it there before that defender get there. Brett Favre can do it.
So the Detroit Lions are without one of the better cornerbacks in pro football when it comes to defending Sterling Sharp. Ray Crockett out with an injured shoulder today, and Sharp scores the Packers' 1st touchdown. Chris Jackie nails the extra point. 80 yards, 13 plays, and Favre hits the main man, the chairman of the board for the Packers. Green Bay 7, Detroit 3. Only receiver with 100-yard years, 2 of them to his credit. Ray Crockett on the other side, not in that defensive backfield today. Unable to use the physical approach to Sterling Sharp, and Sharp burns the Lions. It's 7-3 now, and Jackie will kick it off. It's Mel Gray time. They don't hang this one short, and it hits off Gray. It goes out of bounds. A lucky bounce for Green Bay. Had the ball gone out of bounds, it would have come out on the 35. Instead, it stuck. What a difference a week makes. When we come back, the Lions will have a 1st down inside their own 10.
Mel Gray moving over to take the kickoff. They're trying to kick the ball outside the numbers, giving the coverage people a smaller area to defense. The ball bounces up, hits him under the face mask. The 3rd all-time leading returner, punt kick returner in the history of the game. Only 17 yards to go to move into 2nd and replace Harper from the New York Jets.
Eric Kramer and the Lions 95 yards away from the Packers end zone. Kramer was perfect in the last drive, 4 of 4. Sanders to the 8-yard 28-yard line, and Matt Brock. And we'd like to pause 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
I'm Tom Sutton. You're watching Channel 12, your Packer playoff station.
Today from the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. First time the two teams from the NFC Central have ever met in the playoffs. Green Bay leading Detroit 7-3. Rematch of a game played a week ago, won by the Lions by 10 points here with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. It's 7-3. Packers lead. Kramer back. Kramer complete to the tight end, Holman. Smacked at the 24-yard line. Holland was there, the linebacker, to bring him down. The gain of 16 and a Lion first down.
Motion really loosens up a defense. They ran Brett Perriman in motion, stretched the defense on that side. Tight end Holman comes up, finds his zone, loops around, tons of experience. My gosh, he's been playing 12 years. Caught 343 balls. This is 344. He knows what he's doing when he finds that hole in the zone. In the middle of your screen, number 82. Not the most physical blocker anymore, but he still reads defenses. Johnny Holland, number 50, trying to get him down.
Kramer now 7 of 9 for 98 yards, and that one touchdown in the end zone by Buckley. Firing again, and he is right on the money for another Detroit first down. It's Perriman.
Dave Levy and staff doing a good job of mixing the calls. 1st and 10, they come with a play action pass, very similar to the first one in the ball game. Now they use a team system in calling plays. The running plays are called by Dave Jamont from the press box. The pass plays by Charlie Sanders. They go through Dave Levy, and he coordinates the call. He just says run or pass. I think, you know, I've never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of it. I've never been involved in coaching that.
You had to be involved in every call, Dick.
Yes, I was full of baloney.
No, I don't think so. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Holman again over. And it's Sanders looking for daylight. Sanders gets the corner. Barry Sanders explodes. Finally caught from behind by Buckley, but Sanders burned Buckley originally on the play. 44 yards.
You can see you have to maintain, contain. Defender up here, he constricts into the offensive tackle. They get a big stalemate right here. He bounces outside. Wasn't designed to go there. You must maintain, contain position when this guy gets in there. See that? Now watch him bounce outside. Tremendous quickness, but he's quicker than Buckley.
Derek Moore gives him a blow. And Kramer pulling out too fast. Ball not snapped. And a mistake by the Lions will cost them 5 yards.
Prior to the snap.
The biggest changes they've made in this offense over the last 4 weeks, Brent, is they've gotten away from deep patterns. They're using more play action. They limit the quarterback to 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. If he doesn't get rid of it, then he throws it away or runs. If it's a drop back pass, they're getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds. They've gone away from the counter trap type plays and running parallel line of scrimmage. They want to attack the line of scrimmage and let the offensive lineman come off the ball.
Now here's Dave Levy. Now folks, he did have a legitimate fight against the defensive coordinator. He played for an old UCLA Bruin team in a Rose Bowl that featured Hank Bulla when Bulla went 60 minutes back in the 50s. Now 1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. And Kramer straight back, gets protection, fires sideline. It's Green, incomplete, did not get both feet down. And ABC's NFC wildcard coverage is being brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher and higher standard. And the United States Marine Corps. You've got to be tough to play. You've got to be smart to win. Seven, 3. Packers lead the Lions. Kramer with 6 straight completions since the interception by Buckley. Moore is off to his right. Green's the slot receiver. Sanders on the little delay, and Sanders with the crease to the 18-yard line.
Did you see him lower his center of gravity to make that cut? He almost fell down. His tail dropped almost to the astroturf. Then he got his balance again, and he made his cut. Unbelievable. Draw play. They take it back to him. I think you could run 10, 12 draws a game with this guy, and he'd average about 10 yards a pop. He comes through. He reads the daylight. He sinks. Look at him sink right there like that. Regains his balance and moves the ball.
This is 3rd and 8. 4 receivers. And on the deflection, Perriman. First and goal, Detroit. Off Barry Sanders' hands to Perriman. A 13-yard break for the Lions.
When it's going your way, it's going your way. Barry offset right here in the backfield. He's running an under pattern. They try to get him the ball back here. Now the receiver here, Perriman, comes in, and he catches the tip ball. Good coaching. Good planning. Love those kind of game plans. They're playing volleyball with it.
Sanders stays in as the lone running back. No power look here for the Lions. Slot to the right. They give themselves an extra tight end. They'll run. It's Sanders for the pylon, and he can't get the corner. Out of bounds, and Terrell Buckley defending on that side.
Good job by Reggie White, stretching the defense, not giving him an alley to turn back up inside. And he didn't over-pursue it, too. He kept him going to the sideline. You have to do that with that guy. Keep him going to the sideline.
The Lions have completely overcome the bad bounce off Mel Gray's face mask, out of bounds. Remember, this drive started back on their own 5. They have moved inside the Packers' 3-yard line now.
And as you saw by that graphic, they're tough to score on running the football.
Now the formation to the left. It's Sanders up over the top and short of that goal line. Matt Brock coming in low down there, defending it for Holmgren.
Intense area. Very important to keep your pads down. They're moving with the offense zone, blocking, some people grabbing. Jurkovich in there, right there. Matt Brock gets down low, comes off the block, puts him up in the air. Fortunately, other people there to stop him from going on in. But you have to keep your pads down. You keep your pads down, then your good linebackers back there can get up over the top and stop those guys from getting in.
It's 3rd and goal, and still no fullback support. It's Sanders, but Kramer will throw it. Beautiful catch by Perriman for the touchdown.
Coverage, gutsy call, quick drop, 3-step, throws it, has a double out pattern, short out there. Look at that beautiful, beautiful one-handed catch. Brett Perriman.
Jason Hansen. The punter, Arnold, holds. Perfect snap. What a great grab by the former Miami Hurricane. Lions lead again. Brett Perriman comes from a hotbed of football talent out of Northwestern High School in Miami. It was a great start for the Hurricanes. Played with Vinny Blades, was drafted by New Orleans, and then moved on to Detroit. 8 catches, 100 yards. And Hansen nails it again. This time it's coming out. Corey Harris decides to gamble, and he's short of the 20-yard line.
That was a poor decision. That ball was up there. It was really hanging. You don't kick him any better than that. He would have been much smarter to leave the ball in the end zone and bring it out to the 20.
10-7, and we take a break for the 2-minute warning in Pontiac.
Tight man-to-man coverage down here in the goal line. Everybody being covered one-on-one. Here's the match we wanted right there. One-on-one situation. Wide receiver to the left side, clears him out. He gets a little wrinkle inside, pups it, and I'll tell you, makes the unusually great catch with that right hand. Just reach way out there and pluck it out of the air. Brett Perriman, nice job, young man. 11 touchdown passes in his career. That was an important one.
Now the Packers must come out from their own 15. Down to 1 timeout. Trailing by 3. They need to get to the 37-yard line to give Chris Jackie a shot at a 50-yarder. Off a fake, Favre rifles one, and it is complete to Mark Clayton. His first reception, barely short of the first down.
Detroit's playing a double zone. That was a risky throw. The corner was rolled right up there, but it was a soft corner play, not a tight corner play in a rolled up situation like that. You see a lot of that coverage in the NFL and college today. In the old days, they used to really roll up and define it. Much tougher for the quarterbacks now.
Sharp comes out to the right side. He's on Jenkins. And Bennett trying to blast for the first down into the middle of the defense, where Chris Spielman, number 54, is holding forth, and it is a first down, Green Bay.
You know, you could talk to Spielman on Wednesday afternoon, and he's 5 minutes already away from kickoff. He is so intense.
Last time Ohio State beat Michigan, folks, Chris Spielman was the middle linebacker.
And William White was playing in the secondary. It didn't take him about 30 seconds to tell us that the other day when we were in the locker room.
And that hurts. That's that we just gave. It's 1st and 10. Thompson in behind Favre, and now West comes in motion. Off a play fake. Stepping away from the rush. Favre comes back. Dangerous throw, incomplete. Trying to pick up Sharp. Let me tell you, if Jenkins had a better break on that ball, it could have been 6 for the Lions. And a reminder, tonight on ABC, our country's top women compete for the national crown and a spot on the Olympic team, plus a full update on that terrible Nancy Kerrigan story. It's the ladies' finals of the Legs U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Special primetime edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports, live tonight at 8/7 Central Time. And we can just hope that Nancy Kerrigan gets herself a spot on the United States Olympic team and wins a medal after that. 2nd and 10 now for the Packers. Split backs. Favre falls down. Ball is fumbled. And the officials now sorting it out. And so the Packers do not give it up. Dan Holmgren breathes a sigh of relief.
Take a good look. He was not really looking for it. I see his left right there. And you see the center step back and stepped on his left foot. Quarterbacks come out from underneath the center, pivoting on their left foot. Push it forward. The center's left foot came back, stepped on his. He couldn't get out from underneath it.
Edgar Bennett saved the moment for the Packers. He pounced on the loose ball. 30 seconds left.
One timeout.
Bennett now comes out. Two tight ends and 2 wide outs with 1 running back. And it's Thompson swinging to the right. Thompson forced back inside, runs to the 35-yard line.
Excellent blocking by the right side of the offensive line. The tight end and the big Joe Sims did a nice job.
The Lions lead the Packers 10-7. And we'll return with halftime activities after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. Back at halftime with the Lions leading the Packers by a field goal, 10-7. The Green Bay touchdown was scored by Sterling Sharp. You know, when you think about it, there are 3 marvelous wide receivers in the NFC. Jerry Rice at San Francisco, Michael Irvin down at Dallas. But the one who is sometimes overlooked is the only one who has had 2 seasons in which he has caught more than 100 passes. He is Sterling Sharp, the main man for the Green Bay Packers.
He's willing to win and do whatever it takes to win every time he steps onto the field.
He's so tough after he catches the ball. He's going to make you tackle him.
He uses speed, quickness, sprint, and he has a tenacity of going after the ball. When you have a player like that that is well around, it's hard to pick one area and attack it.
My job is to be violent after I catch it on the turn and make people pay for coming up and trying to tackle me. The pressure's not on me to catch 112 or to catch 100. The pressure's on our coaching staff and our quarterback to get me the ball that many times.
There are times throughout the year he'll drop maybe a ball here or there, but if you throw 200, 300 balls at him and he drops 3 or 4 balls a year, you can't complain about that. So, whenever we're on the field and it's 4th and 10 or 12 seconds left in the game, he's the guy that I like to go to.
He has, in the last 2 years, has worked with a very young quarterback. And I think a young quarterback gets in a comfort zone with the receiver,
And so Brett will throw balls to Sterling when he could have someone else open, but Sterling's open, he's going to get the pass.
When you have a guy like Sterling and Sharp on the other side, and you know what he's capable of doing, you kind of like sometimes find yourself really just standing back, just watching him.
Throws, and is the catch made? Incredible catch by Sterling Sharp.
I came here to play football, to help the Green Bay Packers get to the playoffs, to help the Green Bay Packers win championships. And I've said this many times before. I didn't come to Green Bay to be well-liked, and I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to help the Green Bay Packers get back to where they used to be.
Well, here we are at halftime of the NFC playoff game. Lions up by a field goal. Earlier, it was sudden death overtime in Kansas City. Let's go to Al Michaels.
I'm Al Michaels reporting from Kansas City, where earlier today at Arrowhead Stadium in a wild one in overtime, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-14. Pittsburgh led by 7 with less than 3 minutes to play when Mark Royals' punt was blocked by Keith Cash. Plucked out of the air by Fred Jones, who took the ball inside the 10. He was tackled by Gary Jones. And then with Joe Montana at the helm on 4th and goal and the season on the line, Montana hit Tim Barnett in the back of the end zone for the tying touchdown. Nick Lowry missed a 43-yard field goal at the end of regulation, but came back and hit a 32-yard field goal 11 minutes 3 seconds into overtime. As Kansas City advances, they'll play the Houston Oilers next week. The Steelers season is over. Joe Montana is now 15-5 in postseason. In overtime, Kansas City beats Pittsburgh 27-24.
So there, Montana pulls out another one. Here, we've still got a half to go. Now back here at the Silver Dome, we're at halftime. The Lions leading the Packers 10-7. And we'll continue on ABC in a moment.
12's team to Wisconsin's team. Way to go, Badgers.
Hansen field goal. Let's go down to Tim Brandt. Tim.
All right, Brad, I talked to both coaches on both sides, and the big thing for the Lions is they say they're happy offensively what they've been doing and defensively. It's the Green Bay Packers that want to adjust. Their linebackers are still healthy. They are really upset they lose containment so much on Barry Sanders, and they want to get more pressure on the quarterback. They say defensively for the Packers, they haven't gotten it done.
Tim, we'll see how the second half unfolds here. Jason Hansen has demonstrated a leg, and on the last time, the Packers gambled and brought it out of the end zone and came up 5 yards short of the 20.
Brent, Robert Brooks normally returns kickoffs for him, but he's not. He's just doing the punts. He's the #1 kickoff returner in the NFL, and they can't use him today because he's a little bit banged up, and they want to use him as a punt returner and a wide receiver.
Drills this one low on the bounce. Goes on in, out of the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. But Corey Harris was thinking about it, wasn't he? So we get ready now with Eric Kramer, who will be watching the defense out on the field, and Brett Favre will go back to work offensively for the Packers. And Dick, what's your feeling now about the Packers attack?
Well, you know, they came in here and they wanted to run the ball a little bit more. I think maybe they will lose a little patience with that approach, and they will probably a little more aggressive with their passing game.
Rolling to the right off the fake to Bennett. Now he's got Bennett, and he overthrew him. Had him open on that side and matched against Pat Swilling, and he couldn't hit him.
Detroit dominated the first half, 206 yards of total offense to 130. Also dominated time of possession by over 3 minutes. Doing a good job running the ball and passing the ball. 92 yards rushing to 64. plays pretty even. 26-27, first downs 9-11. Give the edge to Detroit. Very even ball game, though.
Second down and 10 from the Packers 20. The hand to Thompson. Thompson battling for 8 to 9 yards with Dennis Gibson hanging on.
Good job by Harry Galbraith, the offensive right guard. Frankie Winters inside the center. And Doug Waddell, number 74, the left guard, did a good job of maintaining contact. Didn't knock anybody off the ball, but they kept him controlled. This is Scroggins here. It was hurt early in the ball game with that thigh bruise. They got a lot of ice up there.
Third down. It's Thompson over the top for the first down.
Boy, he's a big, strong guy at 217 pounds. See, he got up in the air. Linebacker hit him good, but he had enough momentum to get that first down. He is much more aggressive football player than I have seen him in the past. He must have developed a little more confidence, and I think good coaching by Gil Haskell, the running back coach. Now watch him take it up in the air. He knows it's plugged up. Big, long body. He gets it up there. And the first down. He uses his own people to step on.
Mark Clayton to the right. Sharp to the left. First down, Packers. Off a play fake. Far, incomplete. Running back Thompson was well covered that time by Dennis Gibson.
He was covered well enough to give up on the pattern. He started jogging at the very end of it. Should never do that. You never know if the quarterback's going to come to you. Dennis Gibson, as you said, right on him like a blanket.
Favre at 50% today. 6 of 12, 66 yards, and the 1 touchdown to Sharp. He burned a couple of timeouts early in the first half. Second and 10. One running back in a double tight end formation on a short drop. Throws, has one on, and Sharp can't bring it down that time.
Got to make that catch.
McNeil, the rookie, on the corner this time.
Ryan McNeil was on him, but I really don't believe from here that he got a hand on it. I just believe Mark Clayton didn't make the play. Bump and run coverage tight. He's going to force him to the outside. That's Sterling Sharp there, right there. He's got to make that play. He normally does, but a guy that's caught over 100 balls that many times, we'll give him a little grace.
Well, it's interesting that McNeil is over at the right corner instead of Scott. Jenkins tightens up on the left. It's 3rd and 10. Sharp goes in motion into the middle. Deep drop by Favre. Favre now will put it down and run. And slides to the 42-yard line. That's about where the first down marker is. We'll see where it's spotted. Willie Clay coming up defensively. And he is short. The Packers must punt.
He wanted to throw a screen. There was no screen back. Nobody out there. He's looking for the screen. The wall was formed. The guard was out there. Center was out there. No one to throw the football to.
Wagner with Mel Gray in deep for the Lions.
Not a good punt.
Off the side of his foot. And it goes out of bounds. And it's going to be spotted up at the 31-yard line. A 28-yard punt. Dick, you know Reggie as well as anybody. What about his performance today?
Well, so far it's been pretty quiet. He's made some good plays. You know, they don't really plan to double him anybody unless the center in certain protections can work his way. And that's the only way they really plan to. But he's also playing on Freilich, who has been a Pro Bowler in his day. And he's down there on that guard technique many times. When he's outside and wide, he's on David Lutz, and David Lutz is doing a good job.
Before the intermission, Eric Kramer. He's a survivor, folks. He's driven his Volkswagen from the Canadian Football League. All he wanted was a chance. And he's got it here today again. Took the Lions to the playoffs 2 years ago. And that time it was Matt Brock coming across, approaching if there was contact there, and that'll cost him.
Brent, now I don't know if they're doing this because of injury reason, but they're starting out with a nickel defense, 5 defensive backs and 2 linebackers. That could be due to the injury situation. Now, if Detroit looks up and sees that, they're going to run at that nickel back.
Well, the big change with the Lions' defensive backfield is the fact that the high draft choice from Miami, McNeil, is going on that corner where Crockett would have been. So it's 1st and 5 after the penalty. Kramer gets good protection, incomplete, overthrew Green, who was the intended receiver that time.
You know what happens to Reggie White many times is when they go into the short drop, the 5-step drop passing game, they get rid of the ball in 2.3 to 2.5 seconds. It frustrates him. He can't get there. Plus, many times they hold him. Sometimes they double him up. 92 left side of your screen on Freilich and Lutz. See, they got 2 people blocking him right now. Tough to get through 2 people. Good scheme.
Second and 5. Holman, the tight end, stays on the move a lot. Leads for Barry Sanders. Crease. Sanders cut back. Already had a 44-yard explosion in the first half. He's into Green Bay territory with a 15-yard run.
Detroit has not been pulling any linemen for a while. They've been really man blocking, but they're going to pull this time and pull him through. That's Freilich coming around. Little change up. Freilich coming through. He leads it. Bang! Gets the seal-off block right there. That opens up the hole. Nice job by Big Bill Freilich.
13 carries for 107 yards for Barry Sanders. Holman again, a better blocker on the move. The veteran tight end off a play fake. Kramer goes deep. Penalty flag. More. It's incomplete. And there is a penalty flag being thrown.
Herman Moore, the best place to throw the ball to him is up high. Of course, not out of bounds. A 7'2" high jumper, ACC outdoor-indoor high jump champion. He can leap. Plus, he's being covered by a 5'9". You might as well go after him. Top of your screen, Buckley playing conservative. He looks back, he's going up, get the ball over the outside shoulder. 1 foot down, not 2. Look at him leap. Look at him leap. Got his hand on him.
Well, you could see on the replay clearly he was pushing off on the defensive back, and the ball's being brought back here to the 40-yard line on the offensive pass interference.
But that's a good shot, Brent. You should do with that matchup, you should do that 2-3 times in a ball game, especially if you're going to catch him in single coverage.
George Teague and Butler are the 2 deep safeties for the Packers. And on 1st and 20, Kramer threads the needle that time to Holman.
See, now that time Reggie White got off on the ball like a shot, got up around the outside David Lutz, but by the time he got there, the ball's gone. Good rhythm. The emphasis of the 2.5-second clock on the practice field every day since Levy has taken over, it has really helped them. They're getting rid of the ball. You can't get to them.
Second down and 13. Holman again in motion. Sanders cuts away for the pressure and then threads his way back inside midfield to about the 47. Reggie White trying to dance with Barry.
You know, when you have a running back like Barry, offensive linemen really have to concentrate on sustaining their block, regardless of where it was originally designed to go, because he's going to end up on your back porch. He's going to be back over there, and you better maintain contact with your defender.
3rd and 9 for the Lions. Lions lead the Packers by a field goal.
Looks
10
like
minutes
blitz.
left in the 3rd.
Well, they bluffed it.
The swing to Sanders, and he's defended on the swing by Buckley.
Real good job by the defensive people that time. They came up and they bluffed the blitz. It looked like blitz all the way, and then they backed out. That changes that quarterback's thinking right now. He's thinking, I got to get rid of the ball right now. They turn it into zone. That's what happened.
Robert Brooks is set to return this Arnold punt.
Boy, tough to return that.
Takes a beautiful bounce down inside the 5, and the Lions are going to down it on the 6. 46 yards for Arnold. The Packers are buried. No one loves this better than the coach.
You
Oh,
bet.
Lord, what about this Lion defense now, Dick?
I think they're playing very well. You know, they haven't given up the big play. Sterling Sharp's caught 2 balls, and they're not doing anything special for Sharp. They said they didn't plan to. They just wanted to make sure they did a good job against the other receivers. And overall, they're playing very well.
Dick, how tough is it going to be for a young cornerback to hold up on that side now?
Well, you know, it's always tough on the younger cornerback, but if you get the pass rush, he'll look better. And they're getting pretty good heat on him right now.
So far, Brett Favre with 1 touchdown pass to Sterling Sharp, but Brett Perriman has been the hot receiver on the other side.
8 catches, 100 yards in that first half of the 114.
The ball at the Packers' 5-yard line. Favre with 1 running back. He'll throw for the goal line. Incomplete. Wanted West. West was double covered.
Boy, does he throw it hard. Oh, my gosh. You get blisters catching that kind of kid. West just going to try to get in between the 2 linebackers in the zone. Wham, that ball gets there quickly. He stops up. Wham. Tough to catch it when the ball's coming from that short a distance, throwing that hard.
Edgar Bennett is the running back behind Favre. Without a completion so far in the 3rd quarter. Bennett, and he is stuffed. Spindler, the nose man, hits him first. In his former life, Spindler would have been a pirate.
I believe Spindler is starting to get in rhythm with the quarterback's cadence, and if they don't change it, he's going to be in the backfield. Center of your screen, Spindler. He's moving on the snap. Quarterback better change the rhythm. Better change the count number, because Spindler's going to end up in the backfield.
3rd and 11. A danger down for the Packers coming out. Far from his own end zone. Intercepted. Touchdown, Detroit. Melvin Jenkins, who was picked up from Atlanta.
It's a double zone corner playing soft to the right side of your screen. Should have never thrown this ball. See him sitting outside like that, just sinking, baiting him to throw the football. He took the hook. Touchdown. Boy, that sagging double zone is tough for the quarterbacks to read.
Jason Hansen. Detroit with some daylight. It's Melvin Jenkins. Turned loose by Atlanta for financial reasons. Picked up by the Detroit Lions. And what a great pickup, as Ray Crockett is injured. Jenkins scores for Detroit.
You see the 2 deep safeties here. Each going to take half the field. The corners are going to roll up and just sit and squat right there. They're just going to back easy. See, nothing forcing them outside. In the old days, they used to pressure much quicker. Not now. They sag.
Corey Harris from inside the 5. And Harris to the 26-yard line and down. So it was Brett Favre's interception, and a week ago with 5 turnovers, 4 of them interceptions, and the Lions turned those turnovers into 17 points. This time they score one cleanly off the interception by Jenkins, and Favre comes back to work.
That's all part of growing up. But boy, I'll tell you, the coaching staff has a lot of patience, a lot of confidence, and they're going to just let him grow up as in the ball game.
Now Kevin Scott goes back at the right cornerback spot. This is Edgar Bennett. Bennett on a cutback to the 31-yard line. Timmy, what about Coach Holmgren on the Green Bay sideline?
Brett, one of the things that Mike talked about at halftime with the Packers was being able to have some early success in this half to take the crowd out. It bothered Favre early in that first half. They wanted to take the crowd out. Obviously, they haven't done that, and it is causing some problems down here on field level.
One of the things that caused more problems was Jim Arnold's punt, which was down at the 5-yard line, setting up great defensive field position. Now on a roll. Favre's got an open man. It's West. West into Detroit territory to the 46-yard line. The tight end wide open that time for 24 yards.
This is tough to defense. You give them full flow this way, bring the ball here, bring the tight end across. Linebackers are playing run. Really tough to defense. It's in a zone coverage. He comes right underneath everybody, finds a zone. See, nobody there. Linebackers are playing run. Tough to defense.
This drive could be huge for Favre's confidence. Clayton and Sharp are the wide receivers. It's Thompson sweeping to the right, and he is hit by Hayworth. ABC's NFC wildcard coverage is being brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? The new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and Dollar Rent-A-Car, right on the airport, right on the money. Detroit 17, Green Bay 7. 6:28 to go in the third quarter here in the Silverdome. In overtime earlier today, Kansas City advanced, eliminating Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10. Running back Bennett open. They throw in underneath the zone, and Jenkins, who had the interception for the touchdown, is shaken up, making that stop. Jenkins is down at the 40-yard line.
Now remember, he's playing in place of Crockett, who's out of the ball game with a sprained shoulder. You start losing corners, it starts changing your defensive game plan. If you had planned to use a lot of man coverage, sometimes that man coverage disappears because you don't have a corner that can play man-to-man to replace it.
We'll be right back. One of those unfortunate things, but his own teammate, Jamison, coming over, and you'll see the impact with Jenkins, who goes down in a heap at the 40-yard line. Now Melvin Jenkins, we've already told you the story. He signed as a free agent, leaving Detroit after a couple of seasons. He signed with the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons, who were reducing their salary cap toward the end of the season, turned him loose, and the Lions picked him up on waivers. They did not expect to be using him this much, but he stepped right into their lineup. And one of the reasons why is that he knows Bulla's terminology. He knew exactly the different plays that were being called, and so he could help out last week. And while we have a reminder here, let's tell you that tomorrow, the premiere of ABC's 1994 golf coverage, Greg Norman, Fred Couples, Jack Nicklaus, and the stars of the PGA and Senior Tours tee off in the final round of the Mercedes Championships. Live coverage begin at 3 Eastern right here on ABC. Freddie Couples leading the regular phase of that tournament by 1 over Phil Mickelson. They're through 11 holes, and over on the senior side, Dave Stockton and Bob Murphy are tied towards the end of the third round. And of course, both tours, the regular and the seniors, are played at the Mercedes Championships. And unfortunately here, all precautions being taken with Jenkins down. Now you wonder what kind of substitutions. Here he is, great scene there. He bounces back up.
You see the trainer, Kent Faub, one of the really well-established trainers in the National Football League, been here for many, many years, an outstanding guy. So he is in very good hands with Kent Faub.
Well, another veteran, Dick, checks into the Lions defense, and that's Tim McKyer, who is a much-traveled defensive back.
He is much traveled, but his asset is one-on-one man-to-man coverage, so that allows him to play man. He is not a very good zone player, but a very good man-to-man player.
Kevin Scott is on the field. McKyer will go over to the right corner right now, and Scott will come over to the left. Remember, Benny Blades unable to play. He broke a leg. He tried earlier this week to see if the Lions could use him at all in the playoffs if they advance, but he's just unable to go. He could run backwards, but he could not explode and go forward. So here now is Kevin Scott, and Sterling Sharp comes over on that side of the formation, and they will throw Thompson in motion at that side. Favre with time sits still and picks up Thompson. Thompson out of bounds inside the 30.
See, he did a very good job with his progression that time. They really don't read coverages. They read a pattern progression. He went 1, 2, 3 and got it there. And when you set that short and that close to the line of scrimmage, you need time to go through that progression without people in your face. He got the time, he got the completion.
So earlier in overtime, Kansas City moving on to the Houston Astrodome and the Red Hot Oilers. What a game that'll be next Sunday. 1st and 10. Now Favre on the hand to Bennett. No daylight, nothing doing. The defense was ready. Spielman and Jamison ate it up.
See, they brought Jamison off the strong side outside linebacker. He constricted the play. It got up underneath him. Then he wheeled around and came back in and made the play. Good job, George Jamison. Good, solid, all-around, day in and day out Sunday football player. Playing on Saturday this week.
2nd and 11. Sharp is the slot receiver to Favre's left. Favre gets time, fires, beautiful catch by Sharp for the touchdown. What a grab at the goal line. A 28-yard scoring strike. His 2nd of the day.
You just can't say enough about the value of a strong arm. Now they get the wide receiver Sharp on Harry Colin, a safety. That's a mismatch, and the ball is thrown right where it has to, and as hard as he can throw it, wham, right down the pipe. It is there before he can get help. Right on the money. Nice job, and not bad coverage. Just perfect execution.
Now it's Chris Jackie as the Packers jump right back into it. That was a great drive for Favre's confidence.
See, great statement, Brent, and you can see why Holmgren stays with the guy. Why he doesn't jerk him when he throws the interception.
And you can see why Sharp is headed for the Hall of Fame.
The coverage did not break down here on the safety. The coverage broke down here up front. Normally in a double zone, you're going to have a man take the slot man so he cannot get off the line of scrimmage cleanly, especially a Sterling Sharp. He does not do it. He gets on the safety one-on-one like that. In that type of coverage, he gets it right in between the two safeties. Touchdown.
Jackie and Gray awaits it at the 5. Derek Moore in front of him. Gray this time did not get the kind of return that helped beat Green Bay a week ago. Down at the 21-yard line now for the Detroit Lions. And we'd like to pause 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
I'm Tom Sutton. You're watching Channel 12, your Packer playoff station.
4:26 left in the 3rd period with Dick Vermeil and Tim Brandt. I'm Brett Musburger. Sterling Sharp, 2 touchdown catches for the Green Bay Packers, who trailed Detroit by 3, 17-14. The long storied rivalry. This is the first time that the Lions and the Packers have ever met one another in a playoff game. Now 1st and 10 with Barry Sanders behind Eric Kramer. Off a fake to Sanders. Kramer, open man is Perriman. He has had the hot hand all day. Out to the 40-yard line now. 19 more yards. He hit 100 in the first half, and now 9 catches for 119.
Did a real good job with play action that time. And see what they did is they ran a receiver deep, vertically to the end zone, run the receiver Perriman inside that stretch zone. Tough to cover that with play action.
Now it's the Lions' turn to come out. The Packers put 4 linemen down. Sanders coming along the line, could not find the crease against that defense. Bennett.
Good job of defense there by Brock as well. He wouldn't let him cut back. Barry wanted to cut back, but big Matt Brock was right there. Bennett in proper position, Brock in proper position.
Well, it's the playoffs, and big players are making big plays. 2 catches by Sharp. Barry Sanders over 100 yards already. Joe Montana leads Kansas City back. A sudden death victory in their game in Kansas City, just what you'd expect. And more to come. Second down now and 9. This is home in the motion man. Penalty flags fly. Kramer deflected from Perriman, and a penalty flag also thrown onto coverage. It was deflected. Roland Mitchell, but there was a penalty flag on the coverage and also on the snap back at the line.
See now the difference in the way that they played their zone coverage with the slot man, Brent. They run a man-to-man with that slot. It was very effective that time.
We have multiple fouls on the defense. Offsides on the left side of the line. That penalty will be declined. We have unnecessary roughness on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
First one, defensive lineman jump offside. There you see Brock. Then you see 77 Moss. Here's the second one. Ball batted away.
Oh, clearly
Wham,
Butler
clearly
came up and hit Perriman after the ball has been deflected. Now he is reacting like he's taught, and I think he just got up too high. When the ball has been touched, you go to keep a receiver out, but I think accidentally Butler got up around the helmet area and the flag was thrown. Now on first down, Kramer wants Perriman. He's got it again and out of bounds. More yards against Roland Mitchell.
The value of having touch, crossing pattern. Tough to throw that one, but very nice touch. Lays it right where he has to, gets the man-to-man coverage guy playing him outside. Right on the money, lays it over the defender, over the outside shoulder, the offensive player. Well done.
Now watch the face mask here on the end of this replay. So tack on some more yardage as he inadvertently grabs the face mask, and the ball is put down at the 7-yard line. And Brett Perriman, 10 catches, 150 yards on the day, and 1 touchdown. Obviously a career day in both categories for Brett Perriman.
He had 8 versus Chicago earlier this year for his best game this year. Going way beyond that right now. 15 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown catch was a beauty.
First and goal, Sanders.
You know, the funny thing about this guy is that he's the strongest guy pound for pound on the football team. Look at that, a wide receiver.
It'll be Sanders, left side, just short of the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal for Detroit. It is interesting that at practice during the week, the Lions inside the 10 used Chris Spielman as their fullback, their blocker, to set up things, as they did in the game a week ago. But now with Barry Sanders healthy again, they give the Packers an entirely different look, using 1 running back and an extra wide receiver, giving Detroit just a little more option. But Spielman can be used as a blocking back, and was.
I think we'll see him if they get down to like the 2-yard line, Brent, and haven't scored prior to that time.
Kramer snaps one, intercepted in the end zone by George Teague, and Teague may go the distance. He's loose. The rookie from Alabama is going to go 100 yards. What a turnaround by George Teague. The one thing Kramer has avoided, he has not here today. 102 yards. Now it's official. 101 yards for Teague.
Both interceptions as he was going in to score, forcing the ball. Second interception this year, the rookie from Alabama, first-round draft choice, had 14 interceptions in college, none of them as important as this one.
An electrifying moment in this playoff game. Jackie adds the extra point. The Packers with a 4-point lead. This was where they were a week ago, and they couldn't make it hold up.
They were motioning to a trip set, 3 receivers to the right side of your screen. Here's this half roll set up, fire in there, trying to get it in between people right there. Throws it outside. Actually, if he throws it inside to Ty Alec, he gets it. Teague, outside position, picks it off, takes it the distance. I'll bet he's exhausted right now. Another look at it, Ty Alec, 49, he settles down right there. He just throws the ball to the outside. Didn't put it in the numbers, in between the 4 and 9. If he does that, touchdown. He didn't do it, touchdown the other way.
21-17, Packers with the lead, and now it's Gray's turn. Can they seal him up? They do. And a penalty flag thrown on the return. It came late. Jim Morrissey, the former Bear linebacker, down on coverage for the Lions. The penalty is against Detroit.
Now what Detroit has to be careful of is not to allow a play like that to sap you emotionally. You were playing with great intensity. George T.
Number 58.
Long
during the return. 10 yards. First down.
I like that bandana. Got to get me one of those. Look at that. You look good in that sound in Savannah. Down here playing golf with that, Brent. You look good in that.
That's where half of these players came, is from down to the south.
I know it.
Florida State, Florida,
Miami.
They love the football down there. 1st and 10 now, 21-17. Lions find themselves trailing, and it's Barry Sanders out to the 15-yard line, and Brock is there defensively.
They had a great offensive drive that last series. They don't want to change their thinking. They want to stay with what's going, stay with those good fundamental runs, mix it up with the play actions. You can see that was a good call. The touchdown pass was there. All he had to do was throw it in there complete.
Sanders with a huge day, 119 yards, 17 carries, carrying the load for the Lions. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Holman again in motion. Sanders on the delay. Sanders slips a tackle. Sanders sprinting wide to the right. First down, Detroit.
He is unbelievable. People have, if you don't get your arms wrapped around solid on this guy, you just don't knock him down. That low center of gravity, those big legs, strength coach told me that this guy squats with over 600 pounds. That's a lot of weight. Those calves are massive. It's a lot of power out of him.
He'll take a break, and Derek Moore, who came off the injured list this week, checks in. Final seconds, 3rd quarter. Off a fake to Moore. Kramer on the release, able to get it into Moore's hands for a yard or 2, and Wayne Simmons is there defensively as the 3rd quarter comes to the end. A 101-yard interception return by George Teague has Green Bay ahead. We'll return with more from the NFC wildcard playoff after this word from our ABC station. With Dick Vermeil and Tim Brandt, I'm Brent Musburger. The final 15 minutes here of the NFC wildcard playoff game. The division champion Detroit Lions had a huge advantage in turnovers a week ago. But today, Wayne Fontes' quarterback, Eric Kramer, has thrown 2 interceptions as the Lions were going in for scores. One of which was returned by George Teague, 101 yards. That's the difference. It's 21-17. Lions trying to come back again now. 2nd down and 8. Kramer off a quick fake. He's got Moore, who's been shut out, and he overthrew him. Herman Moore, the leading receiver on the year, has been shut out because Brett Perriman has caught everything in sight. Let's take a look at the numbers through 3.
Well, Detroit had that real good drive that ended up throwing the interception on, so they should still be ahead stat-wise. They are 296 total yards, 222, 2 turnovers. That plus 1 turnover is right now the difference in the ball game. Time of possession closing up. Rushing yards, big advantage right there for Detroit.
A couple of huge plays by 2 defensive backs. Jenkins scoring a touchdown for the Lions off an interception. Teague gets one the other way for the Packers. Now Kramer, left side. It's Green, complete. And that was Sammy Walker, number 23, after a 12-yard gain for the Lions, who are on the move.
They were going to try to double the slot that time with a combination coverage. They were going to take the weak safety and go inside out here on this man right here. That's how they ended up single coverage on top. Follow the free safety as he goes to help in the hole right there, looking, see, baiting him to try to throw it in there. They didn't do it. He read it properly, went to the one-on-one coverage.
Perriman's the slot man to the right. The running back Sanders dances to the left. Still looking as Walker brings him down at the 39-yard line.
He starts inside, and it's the corner on the sideline that makes the play. Sammy Walker. So important defensively from a linebacker standpoint, and almost all the players keeping your shoulder square to the line of scrimmage when you defense that guy. Nice job by Sammy Walker. If you get turned at right angles to the line of scrimmage and start chasing that guy in the direction he wants to initially go, it's a mistake.
All 19 rushes for the Lions today by their superstar, number 20, Barry Sanders. A little oxygen time on the sideline here. Kramer high, Moore, his first catch. It is a legal catch. Even though he was in the air, the official judging that had he not been hit, he would have come down inbounds. The ball at the 41, a gain of 20 yards. That was Leroy Butler who slammed him.
He throws the fade outside the rolled up corner. Free safety, their strong safety, Leroy Butler, working his way over there. Got there a step late, but not without intensity. Really gave him a good shot. Good concentration by Herman there. Hang on to that football. Pull it to the body and don't lose it.
Leroy Butler coming off his best season ever. He's a former Seminole. 6 interceptions and a huge play to seal up a victory over the Bears when Jim Harbaugh had them on the move. Now Kramer back in the middle. Can't find an open receiver. Takes off and cut from behind by Bennett, who was trying to jar the ball loose as he came over him with his right paw. The Lions have spread the passing around this way.
Yeah.
Perriman.
Holman, Moore. Hey, and when your guy's hot, you might as well keep throwing the football. But you saw earlier in this drive, they tried to go I&O on him. They didn't throw it to him. They went to the outside receiver.
Bill Fralick is coming off the field. So he's out of the offensive line on 2nd and 9. They run the draw with Sanders. Big hole left side. Slips a tackle, gets past Teague. First down, Detroit.
Good job by the center and offensive left guard, Glover and Richards to the right side of the green. See Richards 67 get that nice block on Simmons 59. That's what allowed Barry the room and the time to bounce to the outside and accelerate upfield. Good job by Dave Richard, another unrestricted free agent out of San Diego, signed this year. Good acquisition.
20 carries for 140 yards for Barry Sanders on his return. Off a fake to him. Kramer now will slide it off. And that's Derek Moore. Tackled at the 30 by Johnny Holland, number 50. So Jenkins, who was knocked out accidentally by his teammate, has returned to the sideline.
Well, he at least got to play. Ray Crockett, who was supposed to play in that position, couldn't play. Talked to him in the locker room yesterday. I don't know. It's been a long time since I visited with a player so dejected about not being able to play in a football game. He really wanted to play. And this guy wants to play. You'd think he'd be exhausted. He hadn't run the football in a long time.
Taking a break now with Moore on the field. Second down and 11. Moore slides out. They swing to him. He gets past Buckley, and Holland comes up to grab him short of the first down. This is a big third down decision coming up here for Detroit, and they don't wait. Here comes Barry Sanders back in the game.
Good job of just laying it off against the zone, looking downfield, then he just takes what they give him. Be patient when you throw the ball against the zone. They were sagging back there. Good power. He gets his pads down, advances the ball. Good job of making those calls, Dave. And I know you're not making them individually, but you're screening them out. You're telling them whether you want to run or a pass. Keep it going.
Long one. Sanders, no surprise. First down, Detroit. Reggie White trying to bring him down, and the Lions with a fresh set of down. Now Ty Halleck comes in. He'll give the Lions an extra tight end. Halleck is an interesting story because in his final year at Michigan State, he played linebacker, and he's now a full-time tight end.
Good job of using the tight end as a trap blocker in motion. Holman came across, kicked out Bennett, gave him the room to run up underneath.
This game could be a blowout except for this performance, both times in the end zone. And Teague returning one of them 101 yards for a Packer touchdown. Now 1st and 10. Perriman is the motion receiver to the left for Kramer. Kramer looks to that direction. Middle is covered. Kramer down now at the 18-yard line as his receivers were well covered that time, and Tony Bennett in pursuit.
Good adjustment by Ray Rhodes. He saw that Bill Fralick, the offensive right guard, was out of there. Backup Sean Bowens was in there. Hasn't played much this year. He puts Reggie White back in the ball game and puts him on Sean Jones. And that time he gave Sean lunch.
Sammy Walker will give the Packers an extra defensive back. Bennett to the sideline. Buckley comes over on Moore. Perriman is in the slot. And they give to Sanders on the draw. Sanders out of bounds. A 13-yard burst for number 20.
Wide outside rush right here, but the key was the block right here by Willie Green on the corner. Got up underneath all right, got the wide block by Lomas Brown. Big hole, but nice block up on top by Willie Green.
1st and goal. Derek Moore is the running back. It's Moore blasting. Moore toward the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Blocking by Holman, good blocking by Lutz on the right side. Little too deep move there by Bennett defensively. They ran up underneath him. Good power to get in the end zone by Derek Moore.
Jason Hansen gives Detroit a 3-point lead as they move 89 yards in 15 plays. The big play call was 3rd and 11, and Barry Sanders went 13 yards, then Moore for the touchdown. If you're interested in coaching football and you want to see how to do it with special teams, come to a Frank Gams practice. It is a classic. He's one of the great special teams coaches in the National Football League. And it helps to have a leg with the strength of Hansen, the young man from Washington State, whose brother kicked for the Huskies in Washington out of Spokane, now will attempt to drive it back in the end zone again. This one a little bit shorter, high and returnable. Harris, 15. Harris with a seam. 35, makes like Mel Gray, and it's Harris out to the 49, and now the Packers are in business. A 45-yard return, and Derek Moore made the tackle.
Number number 79, Bill Fralick, former All-Pro free agent acquisition from Atlanta this year, out with back spasm right now. Talked to him the other day about how much I think his pass protection has improved. Never seen him pass protect quite as well. He said it's the first time his elbows have been healthy. They went through 4 operations.
The Packers trail it by 3. The ball out near midfield after that splendid return. Favre off the fake, deflected, incomplete, and it was Tracy Hayworth who got a hand on it.
Boy, I'll tell you, that is the best way to defensive pass. Good defensive reaction by Tracy Hayworth. He's actually playing in a rush position in place of the injured Tracy Scroggins. He's getting in there, getting his opportunity, doing a good job.
Holmgren passes the play along to backup quarterback Ty Detmer, who has signaled it in now to Favre. 2nd and 10. West comes over to the left side of the formation. Short drop, which they like. It's Brooks, and Brooks is hit by White. Here is the leader of this defensive secondary, William White. He's from Ohio State, one of Spielman's teammates on a tremendous Buckeye team. Quietly goes about his business, doesn't get as much attention as Blades, but the players on the Detroit defense will tell you this is the glue that keeps us together back there. 7 tackles on the game for White now, and it is 3rd and 9 as the result of that play. Huge call for the Packers. 7:30 down by 3. Sharp comes out to the left, now in motion. Favre under pressure, steps away from Hayworth. Throws deep downfield. He's got a man open, and it's out of bounds. Clayton was wide open down inside the 10-yard line.
See, Brent, when you're running to your right and throwing downfield, you will normally throw the ball wide to your right because your body is moving in that direction. It is tough to throw that straight downfield when you're running hard to your right. That's why the ball was pushed outside. Clayton wanted that one badly.
Well, the defensive back obviously thought that there was safety help in that call, and as a result, the Packers must punt it away. But a golden opportunity disappears. Gray with a fair catch at the 12-yard line, and the Packers, oh my, are they going to be looking back at that play? Oh boy, they should have had the lead here.
You see what happened on that last scramble play, why he got deep. Defender Kevin Scott, number 38, left-hand side of your screen, pedals back. He's expecting help from the safety. I think they're in what they call a quarter. He turns to the outside safety, and the safety had moved over way too flat. Scott turned the wrong way, lost him. He's wide open. Could have been. Here's William. He knows. Look at it. He said, thank God. Thank God.
Thank you up above for that one. 1st and 10 now, and the Lions will try to eat up the clock. Barry Sanders out to the 20-yard line. What a magnificent day he has had coming off that injured left knee. 164 yards, 23 carries. Now Pat Swilling has been watching much of the second half. Shaken up and unable to contribute.
He has a muscle pull.
That's Benny Blades there alongside him to the right, wearing the vest. Now with a broken leg, will not play even if the Lions move along to San Francisco. 6:30 to go now. The clock important if they can bring it down on a cutback. 1st down for Detroit. Pop brings him down. And a reminder that tomorrow night, all new episodes of America's Funniest Hour, followed by Lois and Clark. Then for the first time on TV, Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell, starring Tango and Cash, the Sunday night movie tomorrow night on ABC. Here it is 24-21. The Lions with the lead and the defense doing some homework.
Lamar Leachman, the defensive line coach, real veteran of this game, excellent football coach, was with Bill Parcells and the New York Giants, here doing a fine job.
Now it is Holman on that cutback. Good blocker on the move, and he'll try to lead Berry to that corner. They cut Sanders off, and down at the 25. Well defense that time. Leroy Butler coming up.
Leroy Butler came up. Wayne Simmons sacrificed his body. He went right underneath the pulling guard, knocked him down, spilled the play. Good job of outside linebacker play by Wayne Simmons.
Derek Moore checks in and Sanders comes out.
He's got to be getting tired. You haven't played in a long time and you're carrying the load. Look at that, 175 yards. He's got to be getting tired.
Two big plays coming up for the Packer defense. Moving down toward the 5-minute mark and trailing by 3. On 2nd and 9, Kramer firing Moore, and Holland's got him short of the 30 and about the 28-yard line. This is going to leave them with about 7 yards here on 3rd down. And this could be the big play of the game defensively for the Packers. They need to force a punt here, and Sanders reports right back in.
Bryce Pop right now is going off the field. He's playing on guts. He's hurting. Wasn't even sure. He didn't practice all week. They weren't sure he could play. He is a guts guy. He's been hurting the whole game. He goes out right now.
Three receivers to the right, including Holman for Kramer in this 3rd down set. They show blitz, and here they come. Kramer picks it up, 1st down, and Green breaks free. They pick the blitz up, and they go to Green, the hot man, for the 1st down.
You'll see the safeties working up in here, coming up to give the blitz. Hot receiver coming back inside. He read the safeties blitzing. Quarterback, wide receiver making the adjustment. Here they come. They fill the gaps properly. He gets it off correctly. Almost runs out of the tackle.
A wide man saw the blitz, and he slants in quickly, and there came the throw from Kramer for the 1st down on the 21-yard gain. Ball near midfield now. Clock down toward 4 minutes. Sanders is wrapped up. This will leave him at 2nd and 10. It's Matt Brock.
Did a good job of working off his block, coming down the line of scrimmage, inside out. Sanders wanted to cut back, couldn't cut back. There was Matt Brock. Green Bay, almost 8 minutes, and they have won 14 straight football games when they lead in time of possession.
The Packers squandered 2 timeouts in the 1st half, but not in the 2nd. They have all 3 remaining. 2nd down, and the clock moves to 3:30. Kramer, the veteran, is letting the clock come down. He's able to see it when he steps down under center. Then the handoff, and it's Barry Sanders going nowhere. This is 3rd and long, and another huge play for the Packer defense coming up.
Packers have to play it aggressively. They can't sit back. They've already seen when they get in those zones and use those wide rushes that the draws are more effective. They're constricting the defense, getting into some man coverage and taking them on. Not much time left with 3 minutes to go and down by 3.
Now Derek Moore has been sent out as a pass receiver on times when he has replaced Berry, except on his touchdown run. 3rd and 10. And Kramer. Kramer to the right, throws, dropped by Perriman, and the Packers pounce on him, but it's incomplete. But it is 4th down, and Arnold must punt. So at 2:41, the Packers get an opportunity here to see what they can do. Could we be headed for a 2nd overtime on this first day of the playoffs? Kansas City and Pittsburgh went to overtime today, with Kansas City winning.
See, they're playing very tight now. See, they wanted to run the pick. They're crowding them right now. They don't want to give them those loose zones. Even though they picked each other and ended up with a free man, they're still crowding them.
Penalty flag is thrown. The Packers are saying that there was movement prior to the snap on the part of the blockers in front of Arnold.
False start. Number 99 on offense. Moving prior to the snap. Still 4th down.
Now Brooks is the return man. He had been set up back on his 10-yard line.
Here's Arnold having his best year, 44.8 average, an 11-year veteran. I asked him about that. I said, you're not getting old. Is it because you're doing a better job of conditioning? He said, actually, after my knee operation, I can't work as much in the offseason. Maybe there's a secret there.
Now the Packers must hold up the outside mid. This is one of those moments when they need to give Brooks an opportunity. Arnold will try to get it high and force a fair catch and get it down inside the 20. 2:41 to go. Brooks is inside the 10 on a beautiful punt. They kick it to that side. They try to seal it up, but he gets a block. Brooks out to the 27-yard line, and it was a wonderful block. A 49-yard punt and a 21-yard return. So ABC's NFC Wildcard coverage is being brought to you by the team members at Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. New Wavy Lays. They're not your ordinary ridge chip, they're Lays. MCI. And cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
Frank Gantz will be upset with he's had a kickoff return for longer yards than he'd like and a punt return for longer. And he does a great job, as we already said, of coaching all phases of the kicking game.
The crowd becomes an advantage now. Favre sets the screen. They scored off this last week. Bennett slips a tackle. Bennett to the 40, and he is smacked there, but it's a first down for Detroit. Harry Colin makes the stop after a 12-yard gain. Clock down now to 2:10. Packers down by 3.
Bennett likes to run the screen plays. He has a lot of confidence in him. He has confidence in his offensive linemen, and he allows the screen to develop.
A week ago, Chris Jackie nailed a 54-yarder. He's that long. We'll be right back. Jackie, you've got to like his odds. He's 6 of 7 from 50-plus yards.
I can't picture anybody in the NFL right now having any better stats. The best kickers over the years, the best guys in the league, average 59% outside 50 yards. But 6 of 7 is outstanding.
But first things first, the Packers coming out from their own 41. West in motion. Favre short drop. Throws right, complete to the tight end. Close to another first down just across midfield, and William White bringing the big tight end down. Here's a man who's given his entire career to the NFL, playing in his first playoff game today.
Goes in motion, loosens up the defense. Running back that was flanked out comes in, holds the linebacker from dropping out that way. This offense is built for this kind of situation.
Second down and 1. First down, Green Bay, 127. And the first of their 3 timeouts used. Favre will go over to the side. They need to get just inside the 35. Jackie will do the rest. Dick, what a turnaround.
After that 100-yard interception return for a touchdown, Brett Favre comes out 7 for 9, outstanding.
Jenkins had the shorter touchdown return for the Lion touchdown. Teague of the Packers went 101 yards.
Yeah,
First and 10 now, and Favre pulls out. Drops over the middle, and he's got Sharp at the 40-yard line. Picks him up for 6 yards. Ball is down. No fumble. Tim McKyer, the defender.
Great poise under pressure. Doesn't allow the negative play to affect him. He might come back and make a bad one, but he'll come back and make 3 good ones.
On a quick snap, second down. Favre with daylight and time goes for the whole thing. Touchdown! Green Bay leads. Brett Favre, 40 yards, and Sterling Sharp's 3rd touchdown of the game. .55 seconds left for the Lions.
Most teams have rules about what to do when the quarterback gets in a scramble situation. See, the quarterback scrambles away, Scott turns him loose, he turns back and throws it all the way across the field. The value of a strong arm. My gosh. Might have scored too soon though, Brent, the way this game is going.
Great players make great plays, especially in the playoffs. Barry Sanders for the Lions. Sterling Sharp for the Packers. It's been that kind of a day here. The extra point is good. Redemption, revenge, something to prove. Call it what you will, but this could be a defining day for Brett Favre. Everybody knew how good Sterling Sharp was, and he proves it one more time.
They flush him out of there. He almost started to throw it short. Instead, he looks back. He had great awareness of where this guy was going to be in the broken play situation. Has to be coached that way.
And on the other side, having lost Crockett And then Jenkins being knocked out. It was a decimated defensive backfield.
That was a javelin throw technique, that one.
The young man from southern Mississippi. You talk about tough. When he was a senior, he was in a serious car accident, and they took out 24 inches of his intestines. He played football a month later. You're talking tough, folks. 28-24.
I
and
can't
a field goal won't help the Lions.
Yes, speak for themselves.
Forced in because of injuries on the corner. And now remember Mel Gray. He's another star, fully capable of making the biggest play yet. It's lonely on the corner in the NFL. You can go from hero to GOAT in 4.5. Jackie hangs it high. And Gray at the 11-yard line. Gray is slammed at the 19-yard line by Marcus Wilson. Now it's up to Eric Kramer. And oh, those 2 interceptions. When the Lions were threatening to score. One of them by George Teague resulted in a 101-yard interception as the Packers have made the big plays here. 51 seconds. And the Dallas Cowboys right now could be reaching for the reels of tape to take a look at the Green Bay Packers. Kramer jarred loose. Ball is down. Bennett was finally able to jar one loose. He's been trying, and David Lutz, the lineman, recovered. Time now running out on the Lions. Brett Favre, and we have seen a magnificent comeback performance. And Dick, just as you said to me earlier this week, it is very tough, no matter what the team is, to beat the same team in the National Football League on consecutive weekends.
It is. You know, it's being demonstrated here, and then there's been some big plays by both sides, but when a quarterback does things like that, he gets outside and slings it across the field. Granted, the defense should stay within the discipline of defense and stay back there in those situations and not be looking back into the backfield, and safeties should be going to their proper positions. It didn't happen. That's how you lose football games.
Now the Lions. Last 43 seconds, and Kramer will send it off to Barry Sanders. And Sanders is out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 38 seconds remaining. 28-24. Packers lead by 4. Field goal does the Lions no good. They've got to go the distance.
See, and the Packers can sit there now and play the 3 deep zone, even go quarter, 4 deeps all the way across and play, because they have to get more than that field goal.
Teague and Butler, the 2 safeties, 2 deep for Green Bay. 6 defensive backs on the field. And Kramer will go deep for Moore. Moore's double covered and almost made a sensational grab.
Had a shot at it. Might have taken his eye off the ball. He went up for it. No defender knocked it out of his hand. Look, he's upset with himself. Going to the right guy. Get it up there high. Take a shot at it. Gets up there really high. Leaps up there off that lead foot. Way up above everybody. Got to make that catch. Went right between his hands. Can't throw it any better. No question he's got to make that catch. No question.
This is 4th down. 30 seconds. It has come to this for the Lions to stay alive. Kramer, Dallas, here come the Packers. gutty performance by Green Bay on the comeback here today. And for Fonts, he just lost one too many defensive backs. Upstairs, the Green Bay coaches now celebrating. So they let the division championship slip away. They had to come back on the road to the Silverdome to play again, and they are successful. No matter what the temperature is in Green Bay, it's a lot warmer right now. The Packers move on. And our Tim Brandt's right there with Coach Holmgren, isn't he? As the final seconds tick away, no way they can stop the clock. Barry Sanders was great today. The Packers win it by 4.
Well, you know what? It's been that type of season for us, and we've lost games and they bounced back. I didn't know if we had any more bounce left in us when it got to be 17-7, but they did, and I'm very proud of them.
You're shaking.
I know. I'm sorry. I've never experienced anything quite like this before, and it's a wonderful feeling. I'm so proud of the players. They really earned it today.
Don't know where to start, Favre, Sharp, but how about the play by Teague?
George Teague, I mean, that was the play, I think, that kind of turned us around and got us going a little bit. It didn't look too good down there, and then George makes a big play, a rookie free safety. And our young kids have come through all year.
Mike, congratulations.
Thank
Big
you, Tim.
win.
I appreciate it very much. Thank
really
you.
Happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back upstairs to Brent.
And Tim, he should be proud of this team. And that young quarterback, Brett Favre. This was a gut check for the Packers, and they came through. Enjoy it, because it'll be tough next week when they go down to play the Cowboys, who have been on a roll. And a reminder that tonight on ABC Sports, our country's top women compete for the national crown. And the playoffs are underway, and we'd like to thank some folks. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. Today's game was ably produced by Bob Goodrich, directed by Larry Cam, technical director Gary Larkins, associate directors David Keviat and Patrick McManus, features producers Emily Deutsch and Charles Copland, production manager Ed McKenna, technical operations managers Al Fong and Jerry Reuter, assistants to the producer Steve Shunk and Brian Gordon, our director of information Peter Hurt. It's been a wonderful day. Dick Vermeil, the Green Bay Packers coming through in splendid fashion.
Well, Brett Favre finishes his last 11 passes, completes 9 of them. Tough to beat him when you got a competitor like that. And he comes with, you know, it's not a coach play. It's the broken play that he beats you with. Tough if you're on the other side of that, like the Detroit Lions are.
Well, it was nice to have the spotting job this season by Jimmy Tubbs. We'll see him next year. Roger Riley dropping by to keep the numbers.